I don't need to know, so don't go.
Yeah, when I got introduced to ya, I knew I'd be true to ya. Everyone wanted a piece. You whispered to me that it's sweet, cause it's me you love. And I feel it in my soul. It's like you're always with me on the road. Phone in my hand while I listen to you moan. And everybody in the car wants to try and get involved. Yeah. And then you make...
Welcome to Silverback Magazine. If you look around all the different boxes, you can see all the different interviews. But right now, we've got a very special guest in the building, Grime Royalty. He's worked with Chipmunk, Bashy, Devlin, Tiny Temper, Ghetts, Scorcher, Labyrinth, Professor Green and Baby Blue, just to mention a few. Over 2 million hits on YouTube and 2 top 5s in 2011 alone. If his middle name was L, his initials were spelled JLS. Of course, we talk about none other than Wretch 3-2 in the building. Welcome, sir.
Oh, yeah. What's good?
I've got to say, you've been an amazing year since we last caught up. You was bringing out the single Tractor.
Yeah.
Of course, that flew up the charts. It went into the top 5.
Yeah.
Big things. Did you expect it to do that well?
If I'm honest, I didn't, you know. I always thought Tractor was going to be mad difficult because of just how hard it sounded, you know, and obviously the content, it was just what I was just saying whatever I wanted to say, you know, and it's mad. But when you know, when the Sunday release kicks in, and then you start doing the whole watching the iTunes movie, that's what we call it, when you're just looking at it go up and down, and you're like this, and then it's just mad. It done what it done, and I'm still surprised up to this day.
I've got to say that was a big single.
Yeah.
You followed it up with a top 3. Top 3? That's even better. What do you think of that?
Went to number 2. I know for
number 2.
That was. It's mad because everyone was like, second time round, this has got to be number 1. I'm like, listen, nothing is a definite. You don't understand. They might not like the song. They just might not buy it, and it won't be a number 1. It won't be a top 10. It won't be a top 100 even. But you know, we had faith. We done a lot of promo on that record as well, Unorthodox. And it went to number 2. I was like, wow.
I think this time you're definitely headed for number 1. Of course.
Sorry, that's just my ritual. When anyone says that, I just cover my ears.
Oh, okay.
It's been working, so yeah.
Of course. Talk about the single "Don't Go," featuring Josh Kumra.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who say, you know, it's kind of a deviation from your musical roots?
I think they're mad and they never listened to me before. The funny thing is, if you listen to like my first mixtape, my second mixtape, there's tracks that are really similar to Don't Go. You know, obviously now we've just got better vocalists and better production, so it sounds a lot more polished. But I've always made songs like that, and you know, that's the beauty of it. I get a lot of tweets that are like, yeah man, this reminds me of a song called Nothing Lasts Forever on your second mixtape, and you know, etc. And that just makes me feel good because I know that I've still stuck to what I do.
The quality's always been pretty high. Yeah. Obviously, we know that was at, well, I don't know personally, but obviously you know that was at great personal expense to yourself, you know, where, you know, getting the money together to go down and go to a professional studio. Yeah. How big an impact did that have on your musical journey?
I think it was everything, you know, because for me, my whole argument was, if I'm going to put out a CD and it's going to go in the shop next to Kanye West, I don't want it to sound different when you put it in your CD player. So, you know, and I always had that mentality. Signed or unsigned, so I'd spend a lot more money on recording. And then I think when people listen to the CD, it was like, hang on, it sounds really fresh, the quality's good, the beats are original, and he sounds artistic, and the cover looks good. And I think everything ticked a box, and it put me in my own lane, and that, I've always been in my own lane, and it's been good because it's got me here.
Who was Don't Go written for?
It was written for a lady called Music. But it was meant to kind of throw you off, like it was about a girl, but it was actually about music. But there are lines in there, you know, that you know, that relate to a female. But for me, it's just about, you know, you kind of take it how you want to take it. If it makes you feel about, you know, your girlfriend, or think about someone who you don't want to lose, or something you don't want to lose, then so be it, man. That's what it is. For me, what I don't want to leave me is my talent, you know, and the ability to make music and my fans. So yeah.
So obviously we know you've got a son. How's family life?
It's good. It's good. My boy is as crazy as ever. He gets it popping. He's very excited. It's funny because last night was the first time I ever heard him singing "Don't Go."
Yeah, that was really a special time.
It's kind of touching. If I look at him, he'll stop. So I kind of just got to pretend I can't hear him.
Okay, what, sort of filmed him with your camera on the sly?
Nah, I couldn't even get to the phone in time. I was still in shock. I was like, right, he's singing it, and he was just like singing along, and I was just like, oh man.
So does that tell you that it's gonna be big?
Yeah, he's my hit detector. He only sings top 5s, I swear to you. Like, he don't play no games. Like, he loves, you know, he really likes Chipmunk. I think Chipmunk's his favourite.
Chipmunk,
I don't know if he knows That's his favourite, but he likes all the Chip songs. He sings them more than mine.
Okay. Well, obviously, Chipmunk's a good friend of yours. You grew up roughly in the same area.
Yeah.
How would you say that? I mean, you two have obviously gone a lot further in the game than other artists around. Obviously, if you think of artists like Ghetts, what do you think's been the difference between your progression and, for example, his progression?
I think the sad thing is sometimes it's just about one song. Do you know what I mean? It's just one song that takes you through that glass ceiling, and that's it. You're in the game, you know. And that one song isn't the easiest song to make because you'd never know. Like sometimes you come across it by accident. Track Tag, we didn't know that was going to be the song. We just thought this song was cool. We've had a little gap. Let's put this out. And it's like it just kind of done its own thing, you know. And it's weird because it's like you could have made 1 million songs, and then one song takes you to a whole new place where you've never been. You didn't even imagine you could get there. So it's just about one song sometimes, man.
So obviously you're progressing, you know, through the ranks right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're tempted. I mean, I'm not saying you are tempted, but a lot of people, once they get to a certain level, they're tempted to actually move out, or move out of the area. Will you ever leave N15?
Nah, I'm there. I'm still there. I came from there this morning. I'm still there, man.
I mean, I read an article that where you said something along the lines of that you weren't kids, like when you was growing up.
Yeah.
There was only like the bad guy, and he had the BMW, and he had the 3 girls in the BMW. Yeah, and you know, so they looked right, and they saw him, but because you're still there, you feel that they can look left, and see you,
and see something else.
Of course, I mean, obviously, for people that don't know, you've gone back to your old school, and you're trying to show them that there's a different path, you know, away from crime through music.
Yeah.
How did they respond?
It was cool. You know, it was, for me, it was probably more strange than it was for them. I was just walking around the building like, this is all changed. Everything looks different when I used to be here.
Did it seem smaller?
Yeah, it did. That's when we got bigger, innit?
Yeah.
But for them, you know, they really reacted well, and it was good. It's just good for them to see me still there. And then it's just like, oh, you're still accessible. We can still see you. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, you'll see me in the chip shop. You'll see me everywhere. And I think that's a good thing. I don't want you to think that everything in Tottenham is negative. You know, like, as soon as, you know, if all of a sudden I say, all right, cool, I've made this amount of money, I'm out, and I go, then it's like, Tottenham's only good when you don't have money, and you know what I mean, and you
creates a bad impression.
It creates a bad impression. So it's like, okay, if I stay, then it's like, well, this is a good place because you can, you know, be successful and still be here, and that's what it's about for me.
Obviously, you got the single out right now, Don't Go, Josh Kumra, you know, it's doing big things. Got to talk about the album, Black and White.
Yeah.
When can we expect the album, and what can we expect from it?
The album comes out on the 21st. That's Monday coming, you know. So for me, it's just been a long time recording and a long time coming, you know, and I just want people to vibe with it, have a listen to it and really enjoy it, you know. It's called Black and White because it's me putting my life in black and white, you know, on a disc, written down and vocaled, and you know, you get to see my whole life through music. I
think that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say many thanks for coming out to the studio. Obviously we know time's coming out, time's running out.
Yeah.
Obviously we know you're on Twitter. Give us your Twitter, your Facebook.
It's at Wretch32. My Facebook is at Wretch32. I think it's my fan page, and I've got a personal one, Jermaine Scott, which they won't allow you to add me. So if you message me to add you, I'll add you.
Oh, okay. That's definitely a good look. Before we go, I just want to mention a couple of your tweets, and then we're out the door. Got to say many thanks for coming down.
Love, man.
I got. What would you say to everybody who's locked on listening to you right now?
I just say thanks, man. I feel like everyone who's bought the single and everyone who's retweeted me, every DJ who's pressed play, and everyone who's interviewed me have all been the reason that everything's progressing so much. So I feel like it's all us doing this together. It's not just me. So it's love for everyone, man.
I gotta say many thanks for coming down to the studio.
Respect, man.
I gotta say it's most definitely been a pleasure. Before we go, I just I want you to address one thing for the people and set the record straight.
Cool.
Do you think that music can influence people to do bad things?
I don't think so, no. Not as much as or any more than EastEnders. That gets watched by more people. More people watch EastEnders than buy my record. So I feel like if we're going to say music's doing that, then EastEnders must be worse because it's bigger. Which we don't ever say that. So why should we say that anybody that's creating art? I feel like we have a responsibility to set an example in our lifestyle. As in, you don't see me in the paper sniffing coke. You don't see me in the paper shooting someone in the head. You don't see me in the paper doing madness. You see me in the paper smiling. You see me in the paper holding my album up, and you see me in the paper getting interviewed. And that's me being a positive role model, setting an example in life. In my creative time, I talk about what I want to talk about. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I don't ever tell anyone to jump off a bridge. If music was that influential, we probably could have started a lot more mad stuff, and we would all be number one, because we'd say buy our record and everyone would buy our record, and we'd be number one all the time, which doesn't obviously happen. So
there can only be one.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I've got to say, good luck with the single, of course, featuring Josh Kumra. Don't Go. Do you want to do an intro for the song right now?
Of course. This is the latest single of the forthcoming album, Black and White. It's called Don't Go. It features Josh Kumra. Enjoy it. Yeah.
Let's do this. Wretch 32. I've got to say many thanks for coming down to the Silverback studio. I've got to say it's definitely been a pleasure. Always been a pleasure.
Likewise.
Good luck with the album Black and White, out on August the 21st.
Yeah.
And of course, good luck with the single out right now. We know it's going to do big things. It always does.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Get by.